and they get pulling power from all four of them. These babies are souped up. Otherwise, they look just like the pickup trucks you're going to see on the street driving around that you may have at home. But, man, when they hook to the sled, they exude a whole lot of a different characteristic, and that is raw horsepower. There you see the three chains that are hooked. The one on top, the thin wire, is actually a kill switch that would detonate the engine, that would kill the engine if the truck ever broke away. And then, of course, the double chains on the bottom are actually to hook the truck to the sled. Up first, our test puller will be Robert McDonald. This is the Lone Wolf Chevrolet. There, that's as far as he's going to get it down the track. The Lone Wolf sets the distance to beat. Not a bad pull. We'll see how it's going to hold up as some of the top four-wheel drives in the world come after him. The distance for McDonald, 155 feet, 6 inches, and we're underway with the four-wheel drives at the Cap Center in Landover. We're now hooking one of the classic vehicles to the sled. This is Grandpa Herc, and you're looking at Al Maroney Jr. The distance to beat, 155 feet, 6 inches. So he takes the slack out of the chain and will now await green flag conditions on the track. And then Grandpa Herc goes after him. That'll do it for Grandpa Herc, a little short of the Lone Wolf, which came out before him. Al Maroney Jr. takes Grandpa Herc down and about 1.5 feet short of the mark where Lone Wolf ended up. The distance will come in at 154 feet even. So for the moment, Grandpa Herc sits in the number 2 spot. Our third puller, gone AWOL. They're calling him on duty, Gene Fanny Jr. This is a Jeep. Military-style Jeep, and Gene Fanny Jr. from the Pittsburgh area. Derry, Pennsylvania, where he calls home. And green flag conditions on the track. The distance to beat to take the lead, 155.6. Cowabunga dude blazing on the front. Not quite enough to get to the full pull mark, but it will be enough to take the lead. Gene Fanny Jr. gone AWOL. He's calling it on duty, he said. 157 feet will put him in the lead by about 1.5 feet over the mark of Robert McDonald and Lone Wolf. Well, it gets serious now. Chevrolet time out of Annapolis, Maryland. 1988 World Points champion Howard Lewis, the High Roller Chevrolet. He's got to beat 157 feet to take the lead, very close to his home here at Landover, Maryland. A lot of fans for the High Roller here today. Let's see if Howard can put on a show for him. Yes, indeed, an outstanding shot. A little bit short of 165, which would have been a full pull. Nonetheless, it's plenty to get the lead for Howard Lewis and the High Roller Chevrolet as there he blows by the cone that was the mark of gone AWOL. 162 feet 1 inch. Howard Lewis, far and away your leader here at Landover, Maryland, but still a lot of top trucks to go. It'll be Al Archer bringing out the Foolish Pleasure Ford next as we speak of top trucks. Old Glory blazing from the front of that big Ford. 162.1, that's the distance to beat. And Foolish Pleasure, the Ford, hopes that Old Glory can pull him on past that mark. Here he goes. Well short of the mark. Foolish Pleasure is going to stop well short of that 162-foot cone, signifying Howard Lewis is pulling the Chevrolet a little bit earlier. On the replay, didn't see any problems, maybe just a little short on horsepower for the Foolish Pleasure Ford. Al Archer will come in at 150 feet, 9 inches. Now the Country Bumpkin's going to come rolling out of here next. This is Thomas Moat in the Country Bumpkin. take you right inside the cockpit now as he kind of gives her a little gas and gets ready to go. Needing to see if he can leg out 162 feet 2 inches. That would be enough to take the lead away from the high roller Chevrolet. Country Bunkin. See how he spells it? B-U-N-K-I-N. Country Bunkin 2. I think it's a little short. Nonetheless, an outstanding pull for Thomas Moat and the Country Bunkin. We'll see as the distance comes down just how good it was. It'll put him solidly into second place, a pull of 161 feet 6 inches, second only to Howard Lewis and the high roller. Well, the Three Bears Chevrolet out of Winchester, Virginia, and Bob Smith coming out, always has that teddy bear riding along with him, and indeed the Three Bears will try to get the lead here at the Cap Center. Another puller, interesting to note, from right here in the Washington area, with a lot of fans cheering him on. The Three Bears Chevrolet and Scott Smith pulling for Bob Smith's team here today. It looks like for Scott Smith and the Three Bears. On the replay, another of the many trucks in this area powered by Lee Edwards racing engines. He gets it down the track at a distance of 159 feet even. That'll put him, at least for the moment, in third place in the competition behind the high roller and the Country Bunkin. Another Winchester, Virginia-based puller is up now. This is the small change Chevy El Camino. Bob Minnick brings out small change, anything but small change invested in this beautiful El Camino. Takes the slack out. There you can see how the truck kind of came to a hard stop. That was getting the slack out of the chain. And now small change will go after Howard Lewis's distance. Going to be enough for Bob Minnick and the small change Chevrolet El Camino. You're at ground level. Kind of the camera shaking a little bit as the small change entry comes right at you. Not quite enough, though, to get it to the end of the track. The distance for Bob Minnick and small change, 157 feet even. Well, we look at the big enforcer now as Joe Taylor will hook to the sled, knowing what he needs to do to grab the lead away from Howard Lewis and the high roller. And that is to go past a mark of 162 feet 1 inch. Joe Taylor and the powerful enforcer will be up next. All right, he's got the slack out of the chain, and the GMC truck is ready with green flag condition. I don't know if he got the lead. He muscled it very close to Howard Lewis's distance. It is right there, a matter of inches. And we get the distance. Your new leader, Joe Taylor and the enforcer. His distance, 162 feet 7 inches by a half a foot. Joe Taylor takes the lead. Well, as you can see from the proud painting job on the side, the 1990 Southern New England point champion coming down to the Cap Center to go after him, Jim Ahern, and the ground pounder. Green on the track. He needs 162.7 to equal the mark of the enforcer. That's your leader, Joe Taylor. Jim Ahern comes after him now in the ground pounder. Going to be able to get it there as the ground pounder comes up a little short of the mark. Not quite 160 feet on the pull for Jim Ahern. The distance comes in at 158 feet 1 inch. So that'll be 158-1 for the Southern New England champion, battling the best of them with the U.S. Hot Rod Association here at the Cap Center in Landover, Maryland. Well, Joe Kramer now out with the hard hooker, and they'll hook him to the sled to get ready to go. This is Joe Kramer, the hard hooker. Again, the distance to beat is 162 feet 7 inches. Slack is out of the chain. The track is green, and Joe Kramer is ready to go. A solid pull. It won't get him the lead. It should get him a finish close to the top. On the replay, staying right in the middle of the track, Joe Kramer and the hard hooker, a solid pull, and right now he'll drop into the number 4 spot in the competition at 159 feet 1 inch, and that's where he'll finish. Nobody able to get a full pull here today at the Cap Center in Landover, Maryland. So Joe Taylor comes away as your winner by 6 inches over Howard Lewis and the high roller. The country bucket, Thomas Vogt for 3rd. Joe Kramer is 4th. Then Scott Smith in 3 Bears, followed by Jim Ahern. Bob Minnick, 7th in small change. Gene Fanny Jr., Robert McDonald, Al Maroney Jr., and Al Archer round out the competition on Super Track.